If you are looking for quick and easy meal prep ideas to set yourself up for success this week, then you are going to love today's video. Now, I don't always have coffee in the morning, but when I do, I've been loving cold brew coffee, and to save money and to control the ingredients, I've been enjoying making it at home. To make this cinnamon vanilla cold brew, I'm going to start out by making the cinnamon vanilla syrup, and I'm going to add 1 cup of water into my saucepan along with 1 cup of coconut sugar. You could also do monk fruit or regular sugar, but the coconut sugar is a non-refined sugar substitute. So that's what I'm going to use, and then add in a couple of cinnamon sticks and whisk that well together. You're just gonna let this heat up on the stove until it just starts to boil. And then what you wanna do is just check to see if it coats the back of your spoon. And when it coats the back of the spoon, you know that it is ready to take off of the heat. Now you can let it cook a little bit further depending on how thick you want it. I want it to be a thinner syrup, so I'm taking it off like when it's just barely coating the back of the spoon. And then you're gonna add in a little bit of vanilla extract, whisk that together, and then let this cool completely. Then you can store it in an airtight container for up to 10 days. Now that I have that made, I am prepped for the rest of my week, so anytime I want coffee, it's really quick and simple to make. And to make it even easier, I'm using this Javi coffee concentrate. So I'm just going to start out by adding 1 cup of water into my glass. I prefer not to have ice in it, but if you like it to be over ice, you would add your ice in now. And then I'm going to add in 2 teaspoons of the Javi concentrate and just stir that together, and my coffee is ready to go. Javi is a coffee concentrate that is made 100% from sustainably sourced Arabica beans, and it has a rich, smooth taste that allows you to make your favorite drinks at home, saving you money and giving you control over the ingredients and amount of caffeine in your drinks. Each bottle has up to 30 servings depending on how strong you like your coffee, and the little bottle it comes in stores easily in your refrigerator. All you have to do is add 1 to 2 teaspoons of the concentrate to hot or cold water or your favorite milk, stir, and enjoy. The concentrate is also perfect for cocktails and desserts because it delivers a strong coffee taste without watering down your recipe or having to deal with the graininess of instant coffee powders. Make sure that you check out Javi's website for some great recipes as well. And they are giving me a coupon code for 20% off of your first order. You can go to the link that I have in the description box below or add in this coupon code here. And I just want to thank Javi for sponsoring today's video. I think Javi is a perfect gift idea too. I have a niece that's about to go off to college. She loves coffee, and I know that her dorm room has limited space, so I think this is a perfect option for her. So I just added in some of my syrup to the coffee. I just did 1 teaspoon, and then I'm going to use some unsweetened almond milk, another teaspoon of that syrup that we made, and just froth that together to be my cold foam topping. You could do heavy cream or half and half, oat milk, whatever your favorite is, and then you're just going to pour that over the top, and you have your Starbucks or Dunkin' coffee at home for a fraction of the price, and you just control the ingredients to make it a lot healthier. Now, like I said before, I often don't have coffee in the morning, and I also have been doing intermittent fasting, and I like to break my fast with a protein shake. So I just take this caramel protein shake, and if I'm wanting to have a little bit of caffeine kick in the afternoon, I add a little bit of the Javi concentrate to that. I'm just doing 2 teaspoons again and stirring that together, and then I have my protein, but it tastes like a really great caramel coffee. And you can also do this with the Premier Protein. I'm just using the Walmart brand of the Premier Protein just to save a little bit of money, and I also love the taste of it. If you're not wanting to do the already pre-made packaged protein drinks, you can just get the powder and then do it in a shaker bottle. I do that a lot too. Now, to go along with my protein shake, I like to have chicken salad as a great meal prep option, and this pesto chicken salad was absolutely delicious. I'm just starting out by putting some chicken breasts. I had some in my freezer with about a half a cup of water into my crock pot. I'm going to turn that on low and let it cook for a few hours until it is done and easily shredding. And then for the dressing, I'm just going in with this Primal Kitchen full avocado oil mayo, just a healthier mayo option for you because it has healthier oil with the avocado oil. You could also use Greek yogurt if you wanted to, but I'm just going to put a little bit of that into my bowl, and then I'm going to add in my favorite store-bought pesto. You can make it homemade or use whatever you like. And then I'm just going to stir that well together and season it with some salt and pepper. Now the recipe did call for some celery, but I don't like celery, so I left that out, and also some more Parmesan cheese, but since there was some in the pesto, I left it out as well. Then you're just going to add in your chicken and you are done. This stores really easily in the refrigerator, and then you are ready for your work week. I like to eat it with either these almond flour crackers, or if you are not doing keto and you just want a healthier for you cracker option, I like to do the Mary's Gone crackers, but you can also do this like as a sandwich or a wrap, whatever you prefer. Now for another option, either for lunch or dinner, this lemony Greek chickpea soup is really easy to prepare to have ready for your week, and it is absolutely delicious and very filling. I'm just going to start out by peeling my lemon. I just got about like 3 strips off of it, and I just used my peeler to do this. And then we're going to go ahead and set that aside, and we'll use that lemon juice in a little bit. Next up, you want to finely dice some carrots. Now, I will have all of these recipes linked in the description box for you below. I halved this recipe, so just for reference, but next time I'm definitely going to make the full recipe because this really did reheat well and it stored well in the refrigerator. Then I'm going to go ahead and finely dice half of an onion, and the recipe also calls for celery, but like I mentioned before, I don't love celery, so I did leave it out. Soups like this are so perfect this time of year. They're nice and warm and comforting, and this one is packed full of protein and amazing ingredients that are really good for you. So once you have your vegetables prepped, you're just going to heat a tablespoon of olive oil, and then you're going to add in your lemon peel, the onions and carrots, and then the celery if you're using it, and you just want to saute them until they soften. Now this recipe reminded me a little bit of a traditional Greek chicken lemon rice soup, but it definitely had a different flavor, but some similarities to it, which you'll see here shortly. Once those vegetables have softened, you're just going to add in a couple of cloves of garlic that are finely minced. Give that a good stir and cook it for like 1 to 2 minutes until the garlic becomes fragrant. Once fragrant, you're going to add in your vegetable stock or broth. You could also do chicken broth or stock if you're not making this vegetarian, whatever you have on hand or whatever you prefer. But I did mine with the vegetable broth, and then you're just going to let this come up to a boil. Now, once it comes to a boil, you would add in, the recipe calls for orzo along with your chickpeas, but I'm substituting lentils for the orzo. So I went ahead and added in my lentils, and then I added in my seasonings, which was some oregano, salt, and pepper. And then I let this cook for about 10 minutes before adding in my chickpeas because lentils take longer to cook than the orzo pasta would. So I just wanted to let it get a little bit of a head start before adding in my chickpeas. But once I gave it that head start, I went ahead and drained and rinsed the chickpeas and then added it into the soup mix, and then you're going to let it cook for another 10 minutes. The lentils and the chickpeas give you a great amount of protein. If you wanted, you could add chicken to this. I think it would be good, but I love having meatless meal options, and it does save you a lot of money, and with grocery prices today, that's always helpful. So while that's cooking, I'm just going to prepare the eggs that are going to go in. So you need 1 whole egg and 1 egg yolk. And then to that, you're going to add in the juice of the lemon that we peeled earlier. You just want to whisk those ingredients well together to combine. And then once your soup is finished cooking, you're just going to ladle out some of the broth from it. So that way we can temper the eggs, and that way they don't scramble when we add it into the soup. Now, if you haven't had soup like this before, it might sound odd to you to add eggs into it, but it's just going to make it like silky and creamy and kind of help thicken the soup up a little bit. It gives it an amazing taste, and don't be intimidated because when you do this method here of tempering the eggs, you have nothing to worry about. So while I'm whisking the eggs, I'm just adding in a little bit of that broth at a time. And then once we have all of that combined together, we're going to whisk this mixture into our full soup. So at this point, I'm just going to still use my whisk, but you could use a spoon, but you just want to keep the mixture moving as you're pouring the tempered eggs into your pot, and then you are almost done. So all I'm going to do after this is add in a handful of some kale that is chopped. If you don't like kale, oh, also I removed the lemon peels, I almost forgot. But if you don't like kale, you could do spinach. But I like kale, and especially in applications like this where it wilts down into the soup, you don't taste as much, and it's not obviously like as rough of a texture because it wilts down. So it's just a great way to get like those extra vitamins and minerals and kind of trick people. So if you have picky kids or family members, it's a great way to do it. But then your soup is ready to serve, and this reheats really well, so it's a perfect prep meal for the week. When I'm prepping for the week, I love crock pot meals because I can put everything together in my crock pot the night before and then just turn it on in the morning, and then I'll have dinner ready that evening. So these salsa verde honey lime tacos were amazing. I'm just starting out by adding some salsa verde, and I like to measure everything in my measuring cup. It just makes it a lot easier. And then to that, you're going to add in some lime juice. I'm just using the bottled version, but if you prefer fresh lime juice, you could do that as well. And then to that, you're going to add in a little bit of honey. And then we have a few seasonings that are going to go in next. And that is going to be some chili powder, salt, onion powder, garlic powder, paprika, cumin, and pepper. You could also add in a little bit of hot sauce or cayenne pepper if you want it to be a little spicier, but for us, this was perfect. These chicken tacos were absolutely amazing. I've had several different recipes of chicken tacos in my slow cooker, but this one had a little bit of a different kick to it with the honey lime and the salsa verde that we absolutely loved. So once you get your ingredients in your measuring cup, you just want to give that a whisk, and then you're just going to put it into your crock pot with your chicken breast. And again, I was working with chicken breast that I had in my freezer. So I just went ahead and sprayed my crock pot lightly with some avocado oil, and then plopped my chicken breast in there, poured the mixture on top, and I just kept this in my refrigerator overnight because, like I said, I was preparing it the night before, and then the next morning I put it in on low heat, and then we had dinner ready that evening. So that evening the chicken was ready. You can see how tender it is. It's just falling apart using my tongs. I didn't even have to get 2 forks to shred it with. And after I shred it, I like to just let it sit in that juice mixture for a couple of minutes to kind of soak all of the flavor up. And then you can serve this with regular tortillas. I love these Siete almond flour tortillas. The ingredients are just amazing. And you can use your favorite toppings. I just did some shredded lettuce and some sour cream, and you are ready for dinner. So even when I'm trying to eat healthy, I still like to have a sweet option, and I made this coffee nice cream, and it was absolutely amazing. All I did was freeze a couple of bananas for about 2 to 3 hours. I do recommend slicing them before freezing them. I did not do that, and it just was a little bit difficult to peel. Not too bad, but they were really cold and a little bit hard. So if you slice them beforehand, you wouldn't have to deal with that. But I'm going to put them in my blender, and I'm just using 2 teaspoons of my Javi concentrate. And then we're going to add in just a touch of maple syrup. And you could do a date is what the recipe called for to sweeten it with, but I didn't have dates, so I just used my maple syrup and just a touch of vanilla extract, and then just let that blend together. This was so delicious, and it definitely helps curb when you have a sweet tooth, but you still are trying to eat healthy or stay on track. It's just a really great option. And the options really are endless with these nice cream recipes. But here I'm just kind of showing you the texture of it. It literally is just like ice cream. You wouldn't even know. But to kick it up a little notch, you don't have to do this, but I took some sugar-free dark chocolate chips. I popped them in my freezer for maybe 2 minutes. Probably didn't even have to do that. And then now I'm just going to use my rotary cheese grater to grate them up. And look how easily this is shredding up that chocolate. So now I can have little bits of chocolate throughout my coffee ice cream. And it was just so easy to do. So I just went ahead and added that in and gave it a good stir. And then now I have dessert prepped for the week. So that way when I am craving something sweet, I've set myself up for success because I can stay on track with my health goals, but still have something to curb that sweet tooth. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you haven't done so already, I would love it if you would subscribe and join my YouTube family, and make sure that you check out Javi if you're looking for a great coffee. I will have that link again in my description box, so you just click on that and that will give you 20% off of your first order, or you can use the coupon code. But I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video.